Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are going to look at some things with our tier set and our beloved trinket that we are going to be using this season, the Guidon thingy. Remember the Let's Company Guidon. Now, before everything goes, remember to like and subscribe, and also check out the other video about the rogue changes and the super sheet that we have. If you also have any questions about rogue, you can ask me the log reviews, coaching, whatever, there's the haste thingy, and I'm also going to post a little bit after I finish this video the we don't things. And now let's go into the content of the video itself. So this is one of the most asked questions in the Rogue Subtlety Discord. How much haste do I need? How do I use my Shadow Blades? Do I dance 2 times in a row? Do I wait a little bit? Do I try to snapshot with them? Do I try to not? I'm going to give you numbers that may change a little bit depending on how the APL evolves across the patch, but I think they are kind of solid now. So doing the good opener with Apex in the correct things, it's around from a 1 to 3% increase of DPS. In Trickster, it's a little bit less. In Deathstalker, it's 3%, apexing every single Darkest Night eviscerate, and also doing the Guidon thing. Now, what is the Guidon thing that we do? If you don't know about how subtlety works, we have this talent called Deepening Shadows that increases the duration of our shadow dance. And we also have Secret Technique, that is an ability that also gets cooldown reduced by haste. This means that you want to have a baseline of haste. Now, what I recommend is that you have at least, let's say, 670 to 700 oils included. So as you can see here, I have 659, but when I put my oils, I get to almost 700. This lets you get Secret Technique to around 18.4 or 0.5 seconds. And with the Forset and we don't remember, we are always talking about situations with Forset because our shadows are going to last 4 seconds longer, and the Lights Company Guidon because we are going to have less cooldown on our Secret Technique and our dances are going to be longer. We're going to do an optimization. There are 3 ways to do this optimization, and they go from stronger to weaker. But the strongest one is very hard to do, and I actually don't recommend it because the chances that you mess it up are very, very high. The first one is you need to be careful when you actually use the trinket. You need a full server confirm for it to apply to your deepening shadows. What does this mean? If you use the trinket and then dance too early, it may not register and you would lose the extra duration. This means that, as you can see, my dance right now is 7.3. I slam it, and now it's 8.7. If I use my dance too early, I would be losing those 1.4 seconds. It also lasts a little bit longer than when it expires. So you can also snap the end part of it, but I also don't recommend that. So you will need to wait around 1 second sometimes, but 1 second is super safe. So the opener would be Shadow Strike and then Guidon, and then every time that you're going to go into your cooldowns, you're going to be using Guidon, and then wait a little bit, and then dance with Shadow Blades. That's also why you want to have a different button for your trinket, and then your Shadow Blades also in another. The macro for Shadow Dance it's still going to be with Secret Technique, remember, for Trickster, and for Deathstalker you want the one with Storm. There's also a nifty macro that you can do with a Noun on Simblade. So you have the 2 in the same. I'm going to post it in the description. And with that, you will get a longer dance. And that's the first optimization that you say. This is quite a bit of DPS because, as you know, if you miss your Guidon, you just have a paperweight. You are not using anything. And you only extend the second dance. Now, for the second optimization, is this one is a branching path with the third one, but I'm going to explain first this one because it's way easier and the one I recommend, because the difference between this one and the other it's around 0.1 or 0.2% DPS. It may not be a lot, so it's not worth it. You are going to be using your second dance when you have 8 seconds left of blades. This means that you're going to be using your full dance that is going to last 8.7, 8.9 something, depending on the haste that you have. So you're going to have 8 to 9 globals of dance, and then you are going to wait until you have 8 seconds of shadow blades. You can actually, I think, finish one and then you sit on it on full combo points, and you will go into dance with that. Why do that? Because you will have enough duration of the Guidon to always get the extend. You will have also supercharger on your second secret technique because it's going to be the second finisher. And you will have blades for most of the dance. As I said before, maybe it lasts a little bit longer or something like that. You snipe it a little bit, and you only get 7 globals instead of 8 of blades. It's fine. You're going to get your supercharger on the secret technique. Do remember that sadly, because of the premeditation bug, you are not going to be able to apex the first eviscerate, so you're not going to get the big clone, but that's fine. Everything is that. And then the third one, this is the like elite gamer one. You're going to have the normal Guidon. You're going to snapshot it, preferably with less than 1 second of difference between pushing the button and then using dance. You're going to finish the dance, and then you're going to snap Guidon when it has 1 second or less left. That way, you are going to be able to get the supercharged secret technique and also some duration of dance. I also forgot to say that sometimes if you are not in Bloodlust, then with the second optimization, you may not get the supercharge on secret technique, and that is fine because you're going to get a lot of blade duration on that dance. Now I'm going to do a showcase of this. I'm not going to be using the first optimization like directly because you can't really see it. And let me use, instead of rank 2, always rank 1, just in case if you are not a super wealthy person, you can still see that it still says 85 instead of 700. Then you will come over here, and do remember to get before pull your shadow dance thingies. And now we're going to be using that dance with a little bit on Guidon, and then those extra seconds. This, of course, remember that works without Bloodlust. With Bloodlust, you can supercharge the secret technique always, but with this, it's not always possible. So let's go into it. Bam. Then we done. Wait a little bit. Then with land, you can see has the extra duration. We do want to apex our eviscerates. Then we can get 1, and then we wait. 8. And then I should have waited for that the secret technique. But as you can see, if I had a little bit more haste, it would have been easier to get the secret technique in there. So that's why I recommend those 700 points of haste, and that's the one that you would do normally. Now for the other one, it's going to be kind of harder to show you, but I'm going to still try. As I said before, you are going to be using the normal dancings, and then you will need to snap the Guidon at the last second. I actually maybe messed that up. One thing to remember is, of course, if you have Bloodlust, it's going to be way easier to get the second one. But as you saw there, my secret technique was super close to getting it. So if you want to be safer, you can wait until, instead of the high 8 seconds of blades, a little bit earlier on the seconds of blades. So it's, instead of like 8.7 or 8.8 that I try to do, You can get to 8 point something. Ideally, you also get thing that gets the milliseconds also there. Now I'm going to do the second one. So here you will gamble a little bit with the Guidon, but it will be the same thing. You still want to apex your bit rates. And then here you want to check your Guidon buff and then go into it. And as you can see, I didn't have enough haste to get the secret technique there. I needed a little bit more haste, and I also needed a little bit more leeway for it. You would maybe Shadow Strike twice because getting that secret technique empowered is very, very strong, and the whole idea that you do that. But as you can see, in practice, it's not that easy, and that's why I don't recommend it. Of course, if you have Mythic Guidon instead of my Hero one, it's going to be way easier to get that snap because you get extra haste. Now, that is everything about this optimization. It's one of the most asked things, so that is why I wanted to do the video itself. And if you practice, it's not going to be super hard to get into it. And if you get a better cooldown manager thing, it's also going to be easier. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.